Good morning and welcome to the Business Buzz. Today is Thursday. Welcome to our last Business Buzz for this week, for this month. Today is March 31st. It's the last day of March. And for all of us who had birthdays in March, we have to wait until next year for another birthday. I want to say good morning to all our listeners in Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. And speaking of Cayman Brac, we have our guest online this morning. They're not in the studio. I'm by myself, my lonesome, but I've got my producer on the other end of the glass in the next studio, Miss Susan Watson. Good morning, Susan. Susan is holding it down. This morning, we'll put the spotlight on the Cayman Brac branch of the Cayman Islands Humane Society as we learn more about the work that they do and the services they offer. Joining us by phone this morning, we have Joel Ormsby and Doug Ross from the Brac branch of the Cayman Islands Humane Society. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Anita.
How are you both?
Doing well. It's a very beautiful morning here on the Brac.
Oh man, I'm sorry you're not in the studio this morning. I'm thinking we'll have more fun in the studio, but it's good to have you joining us via telephone. Now, when was the Brac branch of the Cayman Islands Humane Society established?
Around November of 2006. A lot of people came together, most notably Karen Frazier, who was a stalwart Brac community member at the time. And then if you start naming people, say Reverend King, and you really can't name everyone. It's easy to forget so many people, but around 2006, and it's Karen Frazier's doing at the time.
Okay. I didn't even realize that there was a branch in Cayman Brac. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
So what's the primary focus of the branch? We know you take care of the animals, but what is the primary focus of the Brac branch?
Well, we want to come together as a community and have our community educated regarding responsible pet ownership and care.
Okay. Now, what are some of the main services that you offer at the branch?
Okay, our branch tries to offer free spays or reduced fee spays as the circumstances determine. And spaying and neutering cats and dogs is essential to control populations. Also, the different roles, but we need to find homes and help find homes for strays and unwanted animals in conjunction with Grand Cayman. It's very distressing if you're an older person and you need to find a new home for a pet. So we certainly help with that. We also assist here on the sister islands pet owners that need to transport their pets to Grand Cayman for medical treatment. We loan crates out to them to get the animal on the airplane, and if they need some help with other help with transportation, we do what we can. And then last of all, we really need to do even a better job to educate all pet owners here on the sister islands about the benefits of deworming and preventative care, such as heartworm disease, which is a very big problem here in the Caribbean. And I want you to know, Anita, that we have a hurricane shelter on Cayman Brac for animals, because during a hurricane, most human shelters do not want the animals coming with the people. And so Noah's Ark is up on the bluff, and we will take in dogs and cats during a hurricane to give them shelter, and then the humans don't have to worry about their pets, their precious pets.
I know, because it's very stressful when you have a pet, whether it's a cat or a dog, and you can't take them to the shelter.
Yes, yes. And you might even deny yourself proper shelter.
That's right. There's no way I'm going to leave my doggy at home. No way. I'll be stressed out the entire time. So might as well stay there with my dog and be stressed out.
Yeah, they could go to the shelter and have their very own crate and be taken very well care of during the hurricane.
Okay, very good. I love that. Now, how many animals you have up for adoption in Cayman-Brac right now?
I don't think we have any up right now. If you would want to adopt a pet, you would be contacting Grand Cayman and putting in your name on the list for what you're looking for.
Okay, and then they'll ship me one, right? Or do
Well,
I have?
they'll do their best to accommodate your needs.
Okay.
You betcha.
So, Joel, if someone is thinking about adopting a dog or a cat, what important points should they bear in mind pertaining to be that responsible pet owner?
Well, there's a couple questions you need to ask yourself and get real, Anita.
Mm-hmm.
Can your family provide proper food, shelter, and veterinary care? All those items, it's a considerable expense. You're adding a new person to your family. Can you afford it? And you need to get real with yourself. Then also ask yourself long-term. Pets are a long-term investment. They quite often live 10, 15, even 20 years with proper care.
Mm-hmm.
Will your lifestyle accommodate that? You need to plan ahead, think it through. Now, some people offer to foster animals. If they know they're going to be in the Caymans for just a year or two, they may be able to offer foster care to a waiting animal. So those are some of the points we'd like every family to consider before bringing a pet into their family.
Sure, Doug. Go ahead.
A good first step towards owning an animal is to foster an animal to see if you can do everything that needs to be done to keep the animal healthy and happy.
Okay. Now, if you're just joining us, you're listening to the Business Buzz. This is our first segment this morning. Joining us via the telephone, we have Joel Ormsby and Doug Ross from the Cayman-Brac branch of the Cayman Islands Humane Society. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Cayman Medical Supplies. Now, Doug or Joel, what about your, you have vet services in Cayman-Brac, do you?
Yes. Well, it's right now a bit of a difficult situation because there really are not veterinary services on the sister islands because there are no veterinarians located here. The Grand Cayman Humane Society tries to send over one of their veterinarians for 2 days about every 6 to 8 weeks. And then at that time, they provide medical services at a reduced cost. And I want to remind everybody listening today that just because the Humane Society is a not-for-profit, it is still a business, and their costs must be met in order to continue as a non-profit business. And so vet services are expensive, Ms. Anita, and the sad situation on the sister islands is that every pet who's in need of medical treatment right now, emergency treatment especially, must fly to Grand Cayman. It's very difficult. There's the flight, there's the transport to the appointment from the airport, if the pet needs to be housed after treatment. Where do you go if you don't live in Grand Cayman? And also just the whole thing of, you might have to take off work and lose income. So the main goal, one of our main goals of the BRAC branch of Humane Society is to get a veterinary clinic built on Cayman-Brac to service both sister islands and have a veterinarian in regular attendance more often than 2 days every 6 to 8 weeks.
2 days every 6 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, it's not very regular, and it's not always very predictable. I think, we all think at the Humane Society, we can do better, and we're going to strive to do better.
Okay, we look forward to that. Now, what can we all do to increase awareness in the community and make a better life for our furry friends?
I'd say consider adopting a pet and make certain that you spay or neuter when that pet comes into your lives. There are opportunities with our group. We have a gently reused Paws and Claws shop, where we resell clothes and household goods. That is open Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's a number to take down for volunteer opportunities. The lady's name is Kaz. She's got a long name, but we'll just call her Kaz.
Okay.
And that is 916-6616. And that's a WhatsApp number, or I guess a direct number. I'm a troglodyte. I'm not quite certain how WhatsApp works, but I know she's a good leader, and most of us would walk a mile in the mud just to help her out.
Okay. Now, you have an upcoming... Go ahead. Sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
It's really, even if you don't have a pet, if you support our cause, you're supporting the community effort to offer proper care to domesticated pets. And the main thing here on this island is controlling the pet population so that there is not a danger to the native animals.
Do you have a stray problem in Cayman Brac?
There is definitely strays that need attention, and we need to do better. We really do.
Now, let's educate our public for a couple of minutes. What is the importance of spaying and neutering of cats and dogs?
Well, the main issue is limiting overpopulation. Did you know, and let's educate the public on this, that a cat and a dog can have up to 4 litters every year? So what that means is each litter may have 3, 4, 5 little animals born. If you do the math, that's maybe 15 extra animals every year. And if they live 10 years, reproduce 10 years, that's a whole lot of animals. Are they all being properly cared for?
No, I want to ask you, how, either one of you can take this, fostering a pet, whether it's a cat or a dog, especially for, expats coming on island, and they might, like you suggested earlier, might want to foster a dog or an animal, period. And for that duration of time, say they have to return to their country, is it harder for that pet to readjust going back into the shelter?
Well, I'm sure it would be. But pets are just like humans in that each pet is an individual. Some are very easily acclimated to different. Some react more strongly. And it's just up to that individual animal how they'll react. But every animal responds to proper care, proper accommodations, so that if they're getting fed, if they're not being abused in any way, usually time and love overcomes just about anything.
And there's nothing like love coming from your pet.
Yeah. There is.
They love you more than humans sometimes, most times.
And isn't that a benefit to the whole community? When people are happy, a community is happy.
That's right. Now, you have an upcoming fundraiser event. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we want to hear more about it because it's exciting. So we're going to take that quick break, Susan.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Since its early beginning, the Cayman Islands tourism product has targeted middle to upper class segments. In 1949, Benson Greenwald, a wealthy British visitor, began construction on the empty West Bay beach of the Galleon Beach Hotel with 12 rooms. Greenwald was instrumental in the passage of the Caymanian Hotel Aids Law of 1950, which provided exemptions from import duties and taxes for anyone building a hotel with more than 10 rooms. Along with the Galleon, The new law kick-started the development fury with Marin's Seaview Lodge and Pageant Beach Hotel. By 1960, there were 9 hotels, clubs, and guest houses in the Cayman Islands.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Zara. If you are students in Cayman between 3 and 16 years old and love reading books like I do, welcome to the first Rotary Central Video Book Report competition. Record your short video, no more than 90 seconds, on why you love your favorite book, what made you excited, or what made you laugh. There are lots of fabulous prizes. Too many to talk about now. For further information and sign up, go to Rotary Central Cayman Islands Facebook page or email david.rotarycentral@gmail.com. Record your book report video and send it by March 31st. So easy, so fun. The Rotary Central Cayman Islands Video Book Report Competition. Rotary serves to change lives.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
And we're speaking with our first set of guests this morning, and they're joining us via the telephone. We have Ian Cayman Brack from the non-profit group, the Cayman Brack branch of the Cayman Islands Humane Society. We have on the phone, as I said, Joel Ormsby and Doug Ross. Good morning again.
Thank you, Anita. You're still here.
I'm glad you're still here, because I'm alone in the studio and it gets really lonely. I can see Susan on the other side of the glass, but it gets lonely, and I'm pretty sure that you have work to go and do this morning, so we won't keep you much longer. But tell us about the upcoming event that is taking place on April 2nd. What type of event and what can we expect from this event?
Of course, this Saturday, I'm going to say it's a two-part event. Starting at 8:30, we will have a croquet tournament where single players play against one another. It is a double elimination tournament, so you have to lose twice before you stop playing.
Okay.
And people would call me at 924-6412 to schedule that. And in the afternoon is our tea and croquet fundraiser. We'll have music going on. My wife has already begun baking. Other people have already begun baking and cooking. I'm looking at Jewel, and she's nodding her head. Yep, she's already cooking. And that begins at 1 o'clock. And like I say, the croquet tournament begins at 8:30. We'll have our starting groups are at 8:30 and 9:30. And it's not too late for people from Grand to say, decide on a whim they're going to fly over and play croquet while their spouse goes diving or snorkeling, and we'll just have a big time.
You know, Doug, I've never played croquet before, but it sounds very posh. I know what it is, but I've never played.
Well, it's it's posh for some people, but for most of us, what you hear most often is, "I haven't played since I was 5 years old," and then this same person beats you soundly after they say that. Croquet was very, very popular in the 1860s, 1870s, and then again in the 1930s and 40s, and then again in the 60s and 70s. I come from the Midwestern part of the United States, and we've been playing since before horse and buggy days, but we don't wear all white pants and white shirts and white shoes and white belt. We just wear whatever's comfortable, and it's a very nice game. I'm going to let Jewel finish that out because the types of the people, including...
including everyone on this island. You can be fat, you can be ugly, you can be infirm, and still play croquet.
Once you can hit that ball, right? Through a hoop.
Yes.
Or a peg, or what do you call it?
Very, very family friendly. You know, you go to a little gathering, you can always pull out the croquet set. You know, for the expense of one croquet set, you can be entertained for the rest of your life. Generations, grandma, parents, cousins, all can participate and build memories. And so that's why we want to say, let's bring croquet as a good fundraising event. We're introducing it this year. So my role, starting with the tea will be going on from 1 to 4:30, and we're going to offer education, learn how to play croquet, just the basic rules and how to go through a croquet course. Now, I wanted to also let you know that we have a raffle going on. Doug, do you want to explain the raffle? Oh, he said no.
No. You win. If you win, it's great.
We will be selling tickets at the event itself. They're 50-50 raffle. So 50% of whatever we take in as raffle tickets will go to one winner.
Okay.
And the expense is 3 tickets for $10 or 1 ticket for $5.
And you can't win if you don't play.
That's right. So where is the venue for the tournament?
It is at West End Park, which is just west of the airport on North Road.
Okay. So, of course, you'll have refreshments, and we know where your proceeds will be headed, and you'll have a raffle. So how much money are you hoping to raise from this fundraiser, Doug?
Well, hope is $10 million. In the real world, we'd be overjoyed with 10,000, but our veterinary services are almost non-existent, so anything we can do to help defray the costs of getting the veterinarians from Grand over here. The local agriculture department has been very, very kind in helping out. So many people have been very, very kind. There's a couple that live not far from the agriculture building, and veterinarians come over and they let them stay overnight for free in their house. It's a very nice group to be a part of.
So this is one way of fundraising for the clinic, correct?
Yes. We've had other, and we'll continue to have other. We've had a concert last year, which was spearheaded by Kathleen Bodden-Harris. That was a whole lot of fun. We had C&B and all kinds of people that came over to the BRAC, put on a concert, had a big show, and that was a successful event. I guess you'd say our big money maker is the Paws and Claws resale shop. And as of right now, that's open 3 days a week, but depending upon the number of volunteers we get from this radio program today, we'll be open 6 days a week.
7 even, you know. 7 days.
No, I'm from a place where they have blue laws. We don't do anything on Sunday.
I'm just kidding.
We might go to church and we'll have friends over, but we don't want to have any business.
Okay, I agree with you. Absolutely agree. Now there's a BRAC branch of the Human Society, the thrift shop. What kind of bargains do you I can find in there?
Well, we have a great assortment of clothing for all ages, from infancy throughout the whole life. We have some fancy clothes. We have work clothes. We have shoes. church clothes, you name it, you can probably find it if you look hard enough. And we certainly take donations as well. You could bring them, any clothing donation, to the store during open hours. And I'd like to let you know that we do have a Facebook page, and it's a great way to get on your Facebook and see what the BRAC branch of the Cayman Island Humane Society is doing.
Okay, so when Susan's coming up to Cayman BRAC, she can bring all the stuff, the good stuff that she doesn't need anymore, correct?
Yes, ideally they're clean items, just gently used. And they can bring them directly to the store, and that would be great.
Okay. Now, with regard to the donation, anybody can donate. But do you have a charity box or a donation box set up in Grand Cayman for Cayman BRAC?
I believe we do. I think it is located at the airport. Am I correct, Doug?
I think that the cash donation box is at the airport. I've used that myself in the past. Oh boy, you caught us on that one.
Okay.
At the airport is where the cash donation box is.
Well, we can always talk about it another time. What about okay? So you're looking for volunteers. What are your hours? Your opening hours again? Can you repeat those for us? And your location?
Okay, the location of it's called the Paws and Claws Thrift Shop. It is located in the Creek. That is on the north side, and it's right in the same plaza as the Pioneer Bakery.
Everyone knows where the bakery is. It is possibly the most important business on the island.
So you get to smell all the good stuff all day, right?
Yes,
fresh bread, and it's the best bread. I get mine sometimes coming from Cayman BRAC from friends. Actually, I got some bulla right now that somebody brought back. So.
And then you put cheese on that or cream cheese?
I stay away from the cheese. I try to.
You stay away from the cheese, okay.
But it's just as good without cheese. Right? It's great. It doesn't need cheese. It doesn't need cheese, Doug. It doesn't need any help at all.
If you live here, Miss Anita, if you're interested in volunteering, I would just say come to one of our meetings. Right now we have a meeting every other month.
Okay.
And the next meeting is May 11th. And that is a Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Alexander Hotel.
Okay, 6 p.m.
And so if you acquaint yourself with our organization on Facebook, that's the BRAC branch of the Cayman Island Humane Society, and then come to one of the meetings, you'll find a fit. Now, what I mean by that is everybody's unique. And I always say my main thing at the thrift shop is I sweep the floor when I go there. I clean the windows. I can volunteer in that way. Now, somebody else might be able to just help make appointments. But if you come to the meeting, you'll find an area where you can volunteer and help. It's not all about animal care. A lot of it is just fundraising and organization. And so if you can help in any way, you'll find out how you can help at one of our meetings.
Okay, so we're almost out of time. But before I let you go, can you recap on the upcoming event, the croquet? Doug, you want to take that?
It's Saturday morning. Like I say, the croquet tournament begins at 8:30, and we'll be playing throughout the morning, hopefully having a grand winner in the middle of the afternoon. And then the general fundraiser begins at 1 o'clock, and we'll have good things to eat. $50 entry, and from that place you can buy the raffle tickets. And Jewel, what do you have to add?
Well, I just would say that it's very family friendly. If you need to do something Saturday afternoon on the BRAC with your children or grandchildren, please come out. Please learn the game of croquet and have a blast with us.
And I have to tell you, at some point you have to bring that to Grand Cayman so we can enjoy it. Doug and Joel, want to say thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Business Buzz. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the game on Saturday.
Thank you, Miss Anita. I listen to you all the time.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, call me when you're listening, so I know you're on. You're there. Okay. Doug, thank you. Joel, thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Stay tuned now for a time check from Susan, and we'll bring you the news. Following all of that, we have Stuart Wilson will be joining me in the studio. I'll have company in studio. But I want to say thank you to Joel and Doug this morning.
Thank you, Anita. And the studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
This Easter, make it all about eating better with Foster's.
Make it easy with our all-new Easter dinners, prepared fresh by our deli team.
First, choose your main from Escovitch Snapper, Cayman-style beef, maple glazed ham, and smoked jerk pork shoulder.
Then customize it with your choice of sides and desserts. Plus, every order comes with dinner rolls and coleslaw.
And the best part? All you need to do is serve and enjoy.
Order yours online from $94.99 at fosters.ky/Easter.
This Easter, make it Foster's. Better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. A slight bump in average local cases of COVID-19 is seen in epidemiological week 12. Public Health says between March 20th and 26th, there were 266 new cases of COVID-19 reported. That's 59 more than in the week before. During week 12, as you heard right here on Radio Cayman, the country saw another COVID-19 related death, which officials say, quote, might be attributed to long COVID. The Cayman Islands has reported a total of 25 COVID-19 deaths since the start of the pandemic in March 2020. During epidemiological week 12, 7 patients were hospitalized. That's approximately half of hospital inpatients from week 11. His Excellency the Governor, Martin Roper, issues a short statement on the Grand Court's recent judgment affirming his use of discretionary powers in enacting civil partnership legislation. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more.
The governor used his reserve powers outlined in Section 81 of the Constitution to enact the Civil Partnership Act 2020, providing same and opposite-sex couples with rights comparable to marriage. Governor Martin Roper notes the March 28th Grand Court judgment that this was, quote, entirely in line with the rule of law and the Constitution, and says the judgment confirms that passing the legislation was within the scope of his responsibility for external affairs, as set out in Section 55 of the Constitution. Mr. Roper adds he is pleased that the judgment provides welcome certainty for those couples who have relied on the CPA to date, as well as those looking to do so in the future. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
A 30-year-old Georgetown man is due to appear in court early next week, formally charged in connection with the series stabbing at Everglow Bar on Seymour Drive in Georgetown on January 2nd. He is suspected of stabbing another man multiple times during an altercation. Initially arrested on suspicion of attempted murder, he now faces charges of wounding with intent. And the first CUC Women in Energy Conference is getting underway today. Local and overseas speakers are set to discuss STEM, the energy sector, the importance of women's roles in science, technology, engineering, and math, breaking the glass ceiling, women in leadership, robotics, and emerging technologies. In regional news, on Wednesday, the Barbados-based Caribbean Climate Outlook Forum said a persistent weak La Niña pattern is expected to continue during the next 3 months, which may drive increasing uncertainty into the seasonal rainfall forecast. La Niña is a climate pattern that describes the cooling of surface ocean waters along the tropical west coast of South America. La Niña is considered to be the counterpart to El Niño, which is characterized by unusually warm ocean temperatures in the equatorial region of the Pacific Ocean. CARICOM said in its latest Caribbean Climate Outlook newsletter for the upcoming period April to June, quote, this uncertainty points the rainfall and wet day forecast towards climatology across most of the region with equal chances for above normal, normal, and even below normal probabilities. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. The Red Cross says it's ready to lead an operation to evacuate civilians from the besieged southern Ukrainian city of Mariupol, provided all parties agree to the exact terms. A spokesman said that for logistical and security reasons, the evacuation would now happen on Friday. Red Cross buses are on their way to Mariupol with vital supplies for the tens of thousands still trapped there. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has asked the Dutch Parliament for weapons and an end to all trade with Russia. In a video address, he said the Netherlands must be prepared to stop importing energy from Russia so that it was not financing the invasion. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development says the war in Ukraine has caused the greatest supply shock for 50 years, with major contractions expected for both the Russian and Ukrainian economies. The bank's chief economist said the conflict would cast a long shadow of economic damage. In its latest round of sanctions, Britain has targeted Russian media personalities, who it called shameless propagandists who push out Putin's fake news and narratives. They include RT's managing director, Sputnik's editor-in-chief, and the prominent anchor, Sergei Brylyov. Israeli forces have killed 2 Palestinians during a raid in Jenin in the occupied West Bank. In the south, an Israeli man was stabbed by a Palestinian on a bus near a Jewish settlement. The attacker was shot dead. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
You can now book and pay online for your certified lateral flow test at www.hsa.ky/appointment. It's fast, easy, and convenient. Certified LFTs are $25 per test per person. HSA's testing center is located at 131 Center, McClendon Drive, behind Foster's Airport. Walk-ins for certified LFTs are also available. Need a PCR test for travel? These are now only $75. Visit hsa.ky/appointment for more information.
Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center invites you to join them on Sunday, April 3rd for their second annual Turtle Crawl 5K Walk and Run. All funds raised from the event will support the conservation of green sea turtles in the Cayman Islands. So come on out and show your support. The second annual Turtle Crawl 5K Walk and Run. Learn more and register now at www.turtlecrawl.ky. Proudly sponsored by HSM, Rotary Central, Advanced Fire Services, Gatorade, and Radio Cayman. The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Head east on Cove Road. Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? Nope, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 80%. The barometric pressure, 29.90 inches and falling. The wind is out of the southeast at 8 knots. Overnight low temperature was 77 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate to fresh southeasterly winds and rough seas will prevail across the Cayman area today, with a gradual decrease in winds and seas from this evening as the high-pressure system over the western Atlantic Ocean weakens. Satellite images show scattered low-level clouds around the Cayman area moving towards the west. Today, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, mainly over Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Winds will be southeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. Small craft should continue to exercise caution over open water. Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures dipping to the low 70s tonight. Winds will be southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. High tide will be this morning at 8:58, low tide this afternoon at 3:15, and a high tide again tonight at 9:32. The sun will set this evening at 6:38 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:20. And the outlook is calling for light easterly winds and seas from Saturday morning as the high pressure system drifts over the eastern Atlantic Ocean.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning. Taking a look at what's happening traffic-wise. Busy traffic coming from the east on Shamrock Road, and as you approach the Linford-Pearson Highway, traffic is bumper to bumper. And also coming off the Linford-Pearson Highway and Agnes Way, traffic is busy. And also busy traffic off Bobby Thompson Way heading towards the traffic lights. And traffic heading to Georgetown on Cool Road is busy. And eastbound traffic on Cool Road moving along pretty good. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue traffic flowing at a good pace, as well as on Shedden Road. And looking towards the Westbury Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is steady but flowing, heading to Georgetown on the Westbury Road. And from Georgetown heading towards the Westbury Road and Westbury area, traffic is moving along at a good pace. On Northstown Road, steady but flowing traffic, and traffic is steady coming off of Esterly Tibbetts Highway. Edward Street, light to moderate traffic flow, as well as on Owen Roberts Drive. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report.
Subway is serving up a special new sauce, bursting with flavor in every bite. The new Savory Collection is a tropical sweet and spicy sauce made with a combination of spices, habanero peppers, thyme, onion, black pepper, ginger, citrus juices, and molasses.
So good. Wow. Sensational. Delicious.
Subway's Savory Collection pairs perfectly with our oven roasted chicken or steak sub. Savor the flavor. For a limited time, only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Zara. If you are students in Cayman between 3 and 16 years old and love reading books like I do, welcome to the first Rotary Central Video Book Reports competition. Record your short video, no more than 90 seconds, on why you love your favorite book, what made you excited, or what made you laugh. There are lots of fabulous prizes. Too many to talk about now. For further information and sign up, go to Rotary Central Cayman Islands Facebook page or email david.rotarycentral@gmail.com. Record your book report video and send it by March 31st. So easy, so fun. The Rotary Central Cayman Islands Video Book Reports Competition. Rotary serves to change lives.
It's in our name. Fried chicken, it's our thing. Others may try, but we have the original. We put the extra and extra crispy. And our secret in everyone's mouth. So if we want to make the best chicken sandwich, we just need to put our name on it. New Kentucky Chicken Sandwich. An abundant triple-breaded filet, premium mayo and pickles, all in a buttered brioche bun. The best chicken sandwich had to be KFC.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz. With
Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. This is our second segment this morning, second and final segment. And this morning we put the focus, the spotlight, everything bright on Stuart Wilson. Now, Stuart is he's a guitarist, songwriter, a musician, and this morning he's going to share his musical journey, new music, and what it takes to enjoy musical longevity. So we'll take a closer look at the Cayman music scene while we're at it to gain some more insight. Stuart, thank you for joining us this morning.
Hi, Susan. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and hello to all of your listeners as well. Thank you. It's great day, this wonderful day this morning, lovely weather outside, and
you're calling
I'm
me
happy
Susan,
to be here.
are you?
Anita.
Susan. I know what you mean. I'm just pulling your hair.
I should say Miss Can if I want to be on the safe side, right?
It's fine. You can make it Fawcett Can too as well. Stuart, it's good to have you in the studio. Good things going on for you. Big things are going on.
I'm thankful. I'm really thankful.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a busy time, and yes, there's lots going on, and it's a pleasure and a privilege really to be able to contribute in a meaningful way. Yeah.
I've known you a long time. We go way back.
Indeed.
We go way back to CITN.
Yes.
CITN days.
Yes.
Or earlier.
Maybe GIS, because I was at GIS was my very first job out of college when I came back home from university.
What year was that? Remember? Take you back?
Yeah, I was 2000. I graduated from university, and my very first job was at GIS. I knew that I really wanted to do music from much before that time, you know what I mean, professionally. And I was even though it was a great opportunity, a great job, I was never really, I was always kind of antsy. Because I felt like, oh my God, I'm here now and I'm working and I got to do this. I was thinking to myself, how will I get back to music, But over time, I've been able to kind of strike a balance in terms of.
But that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good to hear, Stuarty. Now, you have your label, Love Culture Entertainment, right? Correct?
Yes.
All right. So the folks who don't know you, describe your musical journey and give us some background on Love Culture Entertainment.
Right. Well, like we were saying earlier, when I first came in, and music for me is something that is an essential part of my life, really and truly. I have pictures with myself running around with a guitar at 5 years old. And as far back as I can really remember in my life, it's always played an important and an integral part of my life. It's something that is gives me comfort. It's my therapy. It's really
your life.
It's my life, really and truly. And there are other pursuits that I have, that give me an immense amount of fulfillment. But it's nothing like music. Music is something. That's the one that when I do that, everything else disappears, and I'm just really. But I've been doing it professionally now. I'd say for about 15 to 20 years when I made the decision to really begin to spend my own money, because I think a lot of people, when they think of music, they think of someone discovering them and somebody coming to save them, kind of thing. And I thought like that too for many years.
So you had to market yourself and do everything.
Yes, until I realized that, it's not just it's a music business. Yeah. And so I started to have to kind of look at the actual, not just the music, but the actual the things that surround the music, and to make how to get the music sort of through certain channels, and how to sort of structure it in a way that the publishing and the monies and the royalties would start to come back to me, and all of these different things. And so it's not just, because otherwise you frustrate yourself. And so you have to find ways of making sure that it becomes a viable thing. And I always tell people that for me personally, the songs are like my children. And after I put them in their suit of clothes, after I record a song, I rarely ever go back to listen to it. I play the songs on my guitar, and that's how I enjoy them. But once I record the song and I listen, and the promotional aspect of the whole project is over, I rarely go back and listen to my music in its recorded form.
You just let them out in a while.
They're like my kids. That's like when they're after I've put them in, after I've done my responsibility, is putting them in the right suit of clothes for eternity, and then I can say, all right, you're out on your own now.
You move on. And you move on.
Yeah. It's
you have
like,
an empty nest, you can move on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like a parent who has a kid, and the kid reaches 18, and you say to the kid, all right, you're on, you know, get out there, and it's, you know, sort of face life on your own now. It's time to do your thing. And that's how I feel about the songs. Once I create them and they get to a certain point, and I finish with the whole promotional aspect of everything, I think, all right, you're on your own now.
Do you ever go back and say, well, listen, I think I can make that song better, more popular?
100, well, never more popular.
Okay.
But always better.
Better.
And the reason is because sometimes I think, you know, there's many songs I've recorded, and I think to myself, in fact, you know, because me, as the person that plays the guitar and writes the song, when I go to a studio, I'm very, very reliant on the producer and how the producer interprets what I'm trying to communicate. Because oftentimes, the producer is the one whose idea really he encapsulates the song.
Right.
So sometimes I'll have a song and I've written it, and it's a pop. It sounds like rock when I play it on my guitar. But then I'll go to Jamaica and my producer, Clive Hunt, will then put it into like a roots rock reggae style. And I think to myself, wow, I never really, you know, imagined it would sound like that.
That's why you pay him the big bucks.
Sometimes. And sometimes I'm happy, and sometimes I think, well, I want to do that again. I'd like to do it in a you know. And so I think too, if you go back and you look at people like Marley, you'll see that there are two versions of many of his songs. There's two versions of Natural Mystic. There's two versions of Stir It Up. And
Easy
so,
Skanky.
Yeah, well, so, you know, what it says to me and you know, is that you really still have a responsibility to get the song into the right suit of clothes. And there are many songs that I've recorded that I'd like to do again. However, there are songs that I know are that are what they're supposed to be. Songs like Rule the World.
Touch those.
Not touching.
Oh, no, don't touch Rule the World.
No, I wouldn't.
That's
you
my
know,
favorite.
Feel
That's
for
my
You.
Favorite. Yeah.
You know, so those Represent is a song too that I think, you know, it was one of the first ones I released that people kind of come to know me for. But I think that I would re-record that song if I had it to do over again, because I like that version that's re-recorded now. But, you know, in playing with different bands over the years and hearing different things and different sort of interpretations of the song, I know that there are little things in there that I would love to put into another recording.
So what do you focus on basically? What genre?
I don't know. I mean, I'm all over the shop. You know, I don't consider myself to be people consider me a reggae musician, but I consider myself a musician. That means I make reggae, I make pop.
Which genre do you enjoy singing the most, though?
I don't know. I guess maybe reggae. Yeah, a little bit reggae. But I don't know. I think the whole genre thing is, I think it's a bit overemphasized, because I think it boxes you in, really. Yeah. And I think that personally, I think that you know, it's like you might have a Calypsonian and he thinks of himself as a Calypsonian, or you might have a reggae musician, they think of themselves. But I don't see myself like as one thing.
But you've never done soca, right?
Never, and I don't think I'll ever. It's not.
I want to hear a Stuart Wilson soca song.
It's not something that calls.
I challenge you to a soca song.
Nothing that it's not. It's not a genre that calls me. You know, I do the things that I'm called. Spiritual.
We listen to you, and we think you can try a soca. Let's be the judge.
Maybe.
Right?
I mean,
let's be the judge. Let the
know?
DJs be the judge of the next Stuart Wilson
Maybe at some point in my life I'll be compelled to do it, but I'm not the inspiration.
Okay.
This far.
All right. We'll leave it at that then. No new music. You've got your latest song, Heads Up in the Clouds.
Head Up in the Clouds.
Oh, Head Up in the Clouds. Sorry,
Yeah,
I can only have one Head Up in the Clouds.
Mm-hmm.
This song has been described as a great song. You got great lyrics, nice horns. You've got smooth guitar harmonies.
Yeah.
And Susan says a real nice drum line.
True. Well, you know,
talk to us about this, Georgie.
Yeah, this song, I must tell you, I work with Benil Miller, who is a young Caymanian.
Love his music too.
Many people will know, and he's an extremely talented young man. And he went to school, I think, in Berkeley. California, right? And he's a genius. He's really a genius, young genius. And I because of COVID and not being able to travel, I usually would have done a song like that maybe in Jamaica or London. But I thought, I must be able to get the sound I'm looking for at home. And, with me struggling, I would look around, talking to different people. I first went to Cottrell. And Cottrell stopped and, I don't know, it's, maybe I don't know if they want to do music, really. Maybe they're into film or something otherwise. But I ended up bumping in, through the grace of God, I ended up bumping into Benil. And it was very fortuitous. I'm glad it turned out that way because...
So we have it in the computer, right? We're going to get a little snippet, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, we want to hear the real nice drum line.
Yeah. It couldn't have turned out any better because, like I say, I tried to work with other people, but I think sometimes not everybody sees the vision like you do, and so sometimes you have to really be perceptive to find the right person.
I've seen Benil in concert, he playing for different events. And I tell you what, he sounds a lot like you.
Yeah, man.
His style.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing is, he plays an instrument too. He's very, very talented that way. And I can see myself in him as well. He's younger than me, but like I say, when I look at him, I see myself. So I really take my hat off to him.
So you say it was a good collaboration?
Yeah, man. I'm working with him again.
So just this one song so far?
So far, we're working on another song right now called "War Is Not a Nice Thing." I told him, I said, B, let's finish this thing before the war is over. So he's on it.
Okay. So who's writing it?
I've written. It's my song.
It's your song.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I'll consider too you doing Tanya Yard.
Yeah, well, that's the one that he did during the COVID thing, right?
Yeah. I think it's one of my favorite, tiny tunes, I call it.
Yeah.
But looking forward to hearing more about the collaboration.
Yeah, man. I mean, this, I told him, I said, I'm more comfortable working with him than almost any other producer I've worked with so far. And I mean, I've worked with some good ones.
And that was produced here, right?
It was produced right here in Grand Cayman. Okay. And like I say, I've worked with some great people. I've had the privilege of working with some great people. Everybody from Jason Gilbert to Clive Hunt in Jamaica, who was Peter Tosh's musical director. And I work with Sly Dunbar. I work with Dean Fraser. I work with some of the best. But I want to tell you this. Benil Miller is probably the best I've worked with.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I can say that. Yeah, man. I can tell you that 100%. I mean,
and he too is serious about his music.
Oh my God!
We should have him here this morning, man.
He should be. But he'll
I call him up or something, right?
Yeah, at some point I'm sure he'll pass. He'll have to pass through.
We'll get a little bit. We'll get a little bit to that song. Head Up in the Cloud during the break. But so far, George, what does your musical repertoire consist of?
Well, I would say that it consists of songs that I've had the privilege of spending my money on.
Oh boy.
I think my music repertoire consists of songs that some of them are songs I wrote when I was in Triple C. that I'm just getting to record now. You know what I mean? Because life happens and other things going on.
And you write your music, your own music.
Yeah,
every time.
100%. Yeah, man. I mean, 100%.
Do you ever do covers?
No.
You don't believe in doing covers?
I have no interest, because...
I agree with you.
I have no interest in that because there's something coming through me, and I have to honor that. Maybe one day I might... There are songs that I think to myself, boy, I'd like to do maybe a good version of that, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I think that I have to be a good steward of what's trying to come through me. And it's a responsibility I feel like I have to
get all that creativity out.
There's something coming through that I have to channel and bring here, and that's why I'm here. And if that's the beauty of being a creator, is that you realize you're not the creator, and there's something bigger than you trying to speak through you, and you want to honor that. So that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a vessel for bringing things from the other side into this world. And that's what I think what music for me is all about, really. Putting something here that was not here before, for people to enjoy.
I hear you, Stuart. And on that note, we'll have to take a break. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Stuart Wilson, and Stuart is the man with the band. Before I go to break, do you work with a band, Stuart?
Yes, I always try to work with a band. I don't, it's yes.
Okay, we'll take that break. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Cayman Medical Supplies. Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Raising children is costly. That is why each year the Ministry of Education provides, through its Early Childhood Assistance Program, funding to assist Caymanian children to attend an early childhood center. For early childhood funding assistance, call the Early Childhood Care and Education Unit at 244-3155 or 936-0267, or download an application form from the Ministry's website at www.gov.ky/education and email the completed form to ecap@gov.ky.
Sure.
Some people got their head up in the clouds, don't want to know what life is all about. While we suffering this pain and all this doubt, but I'm not crazy, Lord God. You're trying to shape me, oh, and recreate me into a specimen of me. I had the suffering was a necessity. For me, there'd always been those isms and schisms. Thank God that's changing. Oh, well, I'm rearranging. Lord God, come on, let's praise it. Through past, future, and present, it's Jah and the truths I represent. I hear the Pharisees, I voice them sentiment. Come on, let's praise it. Oh, well. Your love is amazing, Lord God. Come on, let's praise it.
That's all you give me, Susan? Head up in the clouds. Thank you, Sue. Shorty's an awesome song. You know, I can't tell which is you and which is Benil. You guys are twinning.
Yeah.
You're twinning, man.
Yeah, I guess
you
so.
can't. I'm sitting there listening. Which one is which?
No, man, it's all me in the song, you know.
It's all you.
Yeah,
no
man,
chorus
so,
from nothing. Oh, I'm like, it would sound like you the whole way.
Yeah, man,
okay.
it's me. But
he just produced
the instrumentation.
Right.
The instrumentation.
All him.
So
okay.
it's me on the guitar, and it's I've.
Who was on the drum?
That's Horace Mouth.
Eh?
That's a drummer. That's a drummer from Jamaica.
He's good.
Yeah, man.
So I see what Susan talking about in real drum. That's a nice drum. Right?
Yeah, man. What we did was get the drum track from Jamaica, from this guy, and we cut up the drum track, and it's a bit of production magic. But that's Benil.
Yeah.
So, but what I want to say is that so I scored the horns. I wrote the horn part.
Okay. Nice.
Right.
Nice.
And but Benil did all of the bass line and all of the other sort of, you know, the piano, and there's other like a recorder in there. There's a bunch of some other wind instruments as well. But I scored the horns because the horns is my thing. You know what I mean? And between I don't play any wind instruments, but I score them. I like to write the parts.
So this song, Head Up in the Clouds, Jah Love, is amazing.
Yes.
So we can head to the gospel, Caribbean gospel genre here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, you know, for me, every song that I do, I like to say that it can be played in a church, it can be played at a dance, or it can be played at a school. And that is the test for all of my music. I like for it to be able to be malleable in that way, in terms of where people can enjoy it. I don't want to write anything that people can't enjoy in any setting. And so, and you know, I have a love affair with life. I have a love affair with God and what God has done.
Amen.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I have, you know, what God has done in my life, and you know, allowing me, what He has allowed me to do in my life. So, you know, there's a lot of different religions, there's a lot of different ways that people see the spiritual issues, but something it's bigger than us that's going on, and you know, we have to acknowledge that in some way, I think.
I do.
Yeah, 100%.
That we do, right?
Yeah.
No. What are some advantages of being such a versatile musician, singer, and how does that contribute to your longevity in the music industry? Now, I know you're not doing no soca, so
no.
Let's forget the soca part of it. But
well, you know. I must tell you, you know, that the part of the longevity part is that it's really something that I enjoy doing, and as long as I'm able to do it, I will do it. And I bumped into somebody the other day at breakfast, and they said, "Boy, Stuart, you were really serious about this music when you used to talk about this as a kid." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" Of course, I was serious about it. I mean, you know. He said, you know,
they didn't take you seriously.
Now they didn't see because I used to show up. Most of my friends, when we were kids, every friend I had, I would be trying to get them into a band. Let's form a band. And one time I was like about 7 or 8 years old, and my dad said to me that we were going to form a band. And you know, he was just saying it, but he didn't know how deeply I was in love with this thing. You know, he thought maybe he might have just said it in passing, joking, right? But I took that to heart, you know, man, as a kid. And you know what I mean? And I used to just go wherever I was. That was the order of what I want to be doing, music. And you know, I can't get. It's just.
So did your family take you seriously?
I don't know, and I don't care, man. I just
just
know.
Do your thing, right?
I just love this thing more than anything else. You know? Yeah, man. Yeah.
So what inspires you to write, sort of?
I can't help it. It's you know what it is? It's torment. That's what my
musical torment.
Yeah, man. That's what
creative torment.
What inspires me to write is restlessness. I cannot not write. I cannot not do the thing, you know. When I'm not doing music, I'm extremely uncomfortable, you know. I'm very irritable, and, you know, something's not right. But when I pick up my guitar and start to maybe doodle or do something like that, it's a totally different vibration. And
how often do you write?
I'd say maybe.
What do you say?
I pick it up. I pick it up maybe once a day.
Once a day.
Yeah, because you know, you might be doodling and stuff, and I try to do it when it feels natural. You know, I don't try to force any of the songs or anything like that. I just pick it up when it feels good. You know, if
I gotta tell you, I admire people who can play a musical instrument, who can sing, who can dance. I can't do any of that.
Yeah.
That's why I play the music.
Yeah, but look, you know, we are all gifted in different ways, because you have a lot of gifts too that I admire, right? And there's, I think we all come here with things,
right?
Yeah, right? Because you have a gift for sales as well. And,
sometimes,
you know, and like I don't think I don't see myself like, you know, I always admire people who have this natural ability to, you know, sort of people's persons kind of people. And so I think that, you know, we all have our little corner, and our little niche that we have and stuff. So I really, I enjoy watching other people do their thing. Like I like to watch like a mechanic, you know. And I think to myself, boy, I wish I could fix a car. You know what I mean?
You could write a song about it.
You know what I mean? And then I might see somebody, you know, like a fisherman or something, and I sit on the shore and admire what they're doing. You know, like say, wow, I mean, you know, this is a different trade and a skill, and I really enjoy watching other skill sets and really appreciating what other people can do, you know?
So in Cayman, Stuart, what are your thoughts on how the music industry has changed, let's say, generally over the past 2 decades, especially as it relates to technology?
Indeed. I think this is a good question, and I think that, you know, what it is, right? There's a lot of people, I think, what we have in Cayman now is a very interesting scenario in that many people use music. You know, we have a lot of people that use music, but we don't have necessarily a lot of people that create music, right? So you have a lot of cabaret and a lot of cover bands, and you know, I think that because we have a tourist-driven music industry, many people feel compelled to play songs that people know, right? So it's not a bad thing. Right, but I think that we need to balance that now with a creative aspect where we have a thriving, sort of bustling, creative bedrock, sort of. What I want to say, we need.
If you do a concert, you'll do just your music.
Yeah, man. I might play one or two covers in there to satiate that aspect of what people. But because I've had such great support from radio, and I have to thank you and everybody at Radio Cayman and
Joel and local Song Nation.
100%, because I've had such great support at radio. I've been lucky that when I go to play a show, people don't feel like these are songs they don't know. You know what I mean? And so I think that helps me in that respect. And I think that I'd like to see that for more Caymanians, you know? And so I encourage people that don't just think of music as something to use. Think of music as something that you can contribute to. And then maybe, I think eventually, like, I'd like to see some Caymanian music taught in the schools, like, you know, like there's a song called Cayman Moon.
That Mr. Dalmain.
Mr. Dalmain, right? And I think those songs should be a part
That's
of
one of my favorite songs, sir.
I think those songs should be a part of the curriculum.
I agree with you. Absolutely agree.
You know, there's old Caymanian music that they should make sure that it stays. It should be taught,
because
staying
power.
And these things are part of national. The national pride that help young people to say, well, you know, it's a listen. I want
to sing like Mr. Dalmain.
It's a necessary thing.
I want to sing like Stuart.
It's a part of nation building. Believe me when I tell you. And this is where I think the gap that we need to fill in Cayman. Now, part of the reason why this has not happened is because there was never a mechanism in place for people to collect their royalties when their music would play in Cayman. But I want to tell you this. I want to report some good news here to this morning. I started looking into this. I went to live in London and studied a little bit of publishing, and because I had some experience in broadcast as well.
And you're a good journalist too.
And I knew how to ask the right questions, right? And not just how to ask the right questions, but where to find the answers. And I'd been receiving a royalty everywhere in the world where my music plays, except for Cayman. And I wondered about that for years. Years.
You have to stop playing
and
music.
I started then really doing the research, and I found out then that every radio station has to pay a blanket license, right? And from that blanket license, writers and publishers are paid, right? And they pool the money, and then it's prorated based on the actual airplay. And I thought that wasn't happening in Cayman. And I realized that of all the radio stations in Cayman, Radio Cayman is the only one that's actually paying the license. Now, the money wasn't coming back to the writers and publishers because PRS was paying out the money analogously because they weren't collecting the logs for the songs, right?
Right.
But now, because of
the copyright and all that process.
No, because of the work that I've been doing, and I hate to have to blow my own horn like this, right? But now, because as of January this year, Caymanians will be paid for the music their music that played in Cayman.
About time.
Radio Cayman is the only station that is paying the blanket license, and so Radio Cayman is the only station that musicians in Cayman will be paid for. But I'm trying to get the other radio stations on board, and this is the next phase of my contribution to music in Cayman. To make sure that the other stations are paying the blanket license, and so that when not just my music or any other Cayman, but any music, international music as well, plays on these radio stations, writers and publishers are paid.
And these are for your original pieces, right?
These are for my original pieces. And so, like I say, it's the business of music.
Not you, just period. Original pieces.
100%. Yeah. Okay. And so the business of music is a kind of a tricky little affair. But I think now that, like I say, Radio Cayman is leading the way with this.
Right.
And
on that note, Stuart, we have a caller.
Yeah.
Caller, good morning. Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling in. We're speaking with Mr. Stuart Wilson. You have a question or comment for Stuart?
It's a comment.
Okay.
Mr. Stuart, good morning, Mr. Wilson. I know sometimes I was a toddler for your grandmother and helping her and stuff. So, but I'm calling in the place. But you may pick it up after a while. To helping her and stuff like that. I know you from that time. And I don't want you ever to hear you say that there's luck. When you say blessed. Because if you don't believe in luck, I believe in blessing.
True.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for your call, and I really appreciate that little word of advice, because it means so much to me when, to hear an encouraging word from somebody in the community, or when somebody says, something positive, and I love that, and I want to thank that gentleman for calling in.
Thank you, caller.
I mean, I love my people, and I love people.
And it shows.
Yeah, man, and I just really, I'm so happy to know now that, Radio Cayman is leading the charge with, local music. They are making sure that they've been paying the license since 1972, but the money hadn't been coming back here because it was being paid out analogously, meaning that the writers, and there was no logs, and there was a disconnect somewhere.
Yeah.
So I started making calls. I had my lawyers making calls. I had a whole lot of things going on, and now writers and publishers will be paid here. And
that's encouragement for people to put pen to paper.
Now you're going to see young people start to really get serious about music. And so I think that was a part of what was missing. And now that those gaps are being filled, people, I think, is going to sort of add fuel to the creative aspect, and people want to get more involved. like I say, I mean, the publishing is like some people think. I think we need to redefine what success is, because for me, I think people think success is being famous, and fame is one thing, but I'd rather be rich than famous.
Stuart, sorry.
Yeah.
We've got to take a break. I'm so into the conversation, I forgot we got to take a break. We got to make some money too, And we have a call on the line, so we're going to take that break. Thanks.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Throughout the history of pageantry, we've seen strong women represent the Cayman Islands on the international stage. They have gone on to create their own businesses, serve in public office, and continue to give back to our islands. Today, we are looking for more Caymanian women like these, who are strong, intelligent, and wish to give back to our community. If you wish to take part in the Miss World Cayman Islands pageant and to go on to represent the Cayman Islands at the Miss World pageant in 2022, please contact MissWorldCayman@gmail.com.
The Ministry of Education invites all eligible Caymanians to apply for an Education Council Local Scholarship for the 2022-2023 academic year. To apply for a local scholarship or learn more about the various scholarship offerings, please visit the Scholarship Secretariat Unit's website at www.moescholarships.gov.ky. Applications close on Saturday, April 30th, 2022.
I see Jupiter and Mars from far, and Saturn too. The Milky Way looks bright tonight. We were created to shine too.
If I could rule the world, Sue, thanks for that. I didn't expect a piece of that. Thank you. That was nice to pit. And we've got a call on the line before we go back to Stuart. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Morning.
I am good, and how are you?
All right, doing well, thanks. So good to have you here with us.
Yes, Stuart. It's really good to hear you this morning and promoting, Caymanian music or Caymanians with music.
Yes.
Yes, and we were talking about the song "Cayman Moon."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was done by the late Mr. Dalmini Banks.
Right.
And the Cayman Islands folk singers has taken it into their repertoire.
Yeah.
And has been performing it. And also Quincy with
with High Tide.
Sean
version. That's right. I like that version a lot. Quincy's a good singer. Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Hennings. They did the recording with it.
Yeah.
And I must say, Cayman has and is so blessed,
yes,
to be musically inclined.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when
we've had some really, Mr. Radley and Mr. Aunt Julia, and I mean throughout the years, we've had some, I think, really good.
Now we have Swanky.
That have Swanky now, and people that have creators. We have had some really good people pass through, and I think that like when I see people celebrating Mr. Dalmin, it gives me hope. And I think to myself, maybe one day they'll celebrate my work too. And I think that's
definitely.
Oh yes, Jordan.
So it gives me hope, and that's why I'm saying it's a part of nation building. And like I say, I'm just thankful that we are now waking up to this kind of sort of succession of legacy, and honoring people like Mr. Dalmin and the work and the contribution that they made too.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And
All right.
we had 2 other callers too, but they just want to say they enjoy your music.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
No, Stuart. See, you're a public guy.
Well, I love people, and I just love the people.
No, you have an online presence, right?
Yeah.
Share that with us.
Well, yeah, I have a website. It's called stuartwilsonmusic.com. And, I'm promoting an event right now for some young people at the King Sports Center on the 8th of March.
Okay.
It's not...
April.
April, yeah, April. It's not going to be my music. Or it's just a teen event, like for them to get back out since, COVID and... everything. And the company now is registered in London, right? The Love Culture Entertainment. But I also have a branch that I just registered here through our business, our trade and business licensing department here. And that branch is going to be so I can do events like this one where I, like for young people, and not just to have.
What's the name of it?
This one's called the Kick Out Bash.
Kick Out.
And it's a pre-Easter teen disco. This one has nothing to do with my recorded music. Okay. It's just a way of. It's just something for the kids after COVID, for them to come out and enjoy themselves in a safe environment, and listen to some music and dance.
So where can I find your music online?
My music is my music is available everywhere. You'll find it on Apple Music. Okay. I get a lot of listenership on Spotify. This song that we just released, Head Up in the Clouds, in the first 2 weeks, it had nearly 100,000 streams, and that was just on Spotify.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And
Sweet.
and then I get good support from from the people here at home. When I look at the data, I can see that people at home here are listening on Apple Music. So I think a lot of Caymanians listen on app, because most people here have iPhones, right?
That's right.
So they can access the music with on Apple Music.
All right, sure. We have another caller. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Anita.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning, Mr. Wilson.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, I've heard your music over the years, and I must say to you this morning, thank you for good, clean music.
Oh, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
But my question to you, Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Who is your inspiration? Because hearing you over the years, I've heard a little UB40, a little Peoples, a little and sometimes I got full. I say, is that Third World? Is that UB40? But then I realize it's yours. So I want to know, who is your inspiration?
Boy, I think you hit the nail on the head, sir. All of those. And
thank you for your contribution.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
So,
that's touching.
I know, right? What are some avenues? How can we get hold of your music?
Yeah, I mean, it's just online, online basically. Mostly people access
Nothing in the stores here?
I have some CDs that I take with me sometimes to a show or two. Okay. But for the most part, I don't have any. There may be in the future, because I've realized now that, having something physical is almost a novelty these days, right? Like most people are accessing things in a digital format, but if you have something that people can, like a keepsake, like a souvenir, I think that's nice too. And I have some albums that I have that are physical that I sell, to collectors and people who
give us some contact details. Then.
Yeah, man. You can get me on 925-8569, which is my personal number, or you can send me an email at loveculture, LOVECULTURE @hotmail.com to request, and I can drop off a physical album, copy of one of the albums for you. So I order them 1,000 at a time, and then like when I do the physical run of the album, I only want 1,000 to exist.
I got 1,000 more songs for you too. I mean, questions for
you.
Well,
yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm ready. We only have 2 minutes. The time goes so quickly when we're having fun.
I know.
I enjoyed this immensely.
She's got to start giving me an extension now on this thing, okay?
I enjoyed this.
Do you take bookings for like private functions and stuff
like
I
do. I do. This kind of happened just organically. You know what I mean? People reach out to me. They know kind of where to find me, and I work with the National Trust too, and part of what we do is to kind of preserve the culture, and I take care of the heritage sites on the island. People think I work at the Mission House, but it's just one of the sites I manage.
So you leave here, you're going to work?
Kind of, you know.
Well, it's good because you got to keeping that culture and everything together.
Yeah, it's part of.
And plus, it's an inspiration for you too.
Indeed, it's a part of the whole thing. You know, it's a part of the fabric of what makes my life, kind of interesting, I think.
Well, Stuart, it's been a pleasure having you in the studio this morning. We got so much to talk about.
Yeah.
We can go on for days.
Indeed, absolutely.
But Susan is going to kill me because we got the news coming up at night.
Oh, this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me. And
thank you, Stuart. Anything you want to leave with our listeners this morning?
I just want to say thanks to everybody and our Grand Cayman for being so supportive. It's a pleasure to live here. It's a pleasure. It's a privilege, really. And I love my people, I love my country, and I just want to say thanks.
We love you. Thank you, Stuart. Keep up the good work. Keep the music going.
Thank you.
Love, enough love. Thanks to our producer, Miss Susan Watson.
Thanks, Susan. She got the question. She did such a great job.
Yeah, man, she does. I'm only God's mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Radio Cayman mouthpiece as well. Thanks to our sponsors of the Business Buzz, Cayman Insurance Center, Cayman Medical Supplies. Thanks to our first guest this morning who joined us via telephone from Cayman Bragg, the Bragg branch of Cayman Islands Human Society, Joel and Doug Ross. Now, Joel Ormsby and Doug Ross. Thanks to all our listeners, YouTube viewers, and of course, producer. And until Thursday, April 5th, tomorrow's April Fool's Day. Don't get fooled. Don't be fooled, Stuart. And until then, we'll bring another Business Buzz. In the meantime, please stay safe. Have a wonderful day. From me, your host, Anita Can. Goodbye.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. Optical Outlook, now at their new location in Anderson Square. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook. And Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Let's spread the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.